Dr. Sears, thanks so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.
Dr. Sears, today I want to talk to you about aging. We've received a lot of questions over the years and recently from our customers on aging, and I thought it'd be a good time to kind of highlight some of them and pick your brain and get your thoughts. So the first one is I wanted to see if you could tell us what's going on under the surface to promote fine lines and wrinkles and some of the thinness that happens to skin over time.
Well, the short answer is increased inflammation in the skin. When we talk about wrinkles, what we're really talking about is the breakdown of the superstructure of the skin, the collagen, the elastin. Think of wrinkles as potholes. So when you have a severe winter, what do you have in the spring? A lot of potholes,
Mhm.
because basically the superstructure underneath the feet has collapsed. That's what inflammation does. It causes destruction of the superstructure of the skin. That's why we have wrinkles.
So, Dr. Sears, do you think that changing your diet has more of an impact on the prevention of kind of fine lines and wrinkles and some of the changes to skin? Or is there anything topical that you would recommend or the science shows that it's beneficial?
Well, as always, the diet is basically the primary player because, again, it's not reducing inflammation by taking drugs, but basically resolving the inflammation and rebuilding the tissue. That's a very complex process. It's called the resolution response. It's totally under dietary control. So we have the ability to basically rebuild ourselves, almost like the $6 million man. We'll make them faster, stronger. So we do have that ability, but we have to treat food as if it were a drug. That means being taken at the right dose at the right time. And this means doing three things. One, following an anti-inflammatory diet. The zone diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. That's why I developed it many years ago. It's the most highly characterized and validated anti-inflammatory diet there is. But that's only step one. Then we have to resolve the inflammation by taking adequate levels of omega-3 fatty acids. And then we're almost to the final step to rebuild, to regenerate the damaged tissue. That requires activation of a very powerful gene transcription factor known as AMPK that controls our metabolism. It's only when all three are working as a team can we begin to rebuild tissue and remove the physical signs of aging. But it also means we're basically renewing the body. So basically, as a physiological state, is also younger.
That makes a lot of sense. So, Dr. Sears, one of the questions we got is what your thoughts are on some of the anti-aging studies pertaining to NMN, resveratrol, metformin. Just any thoughts? I know I just gave you three things to talk about, but just in general about just some of the anti-aging studies looking at any of these.
Well, all of them, you have a little bit of pixie dust. It's saying, if I can only find a magical nutrient. But the fact is, the resolution response does not rely upon a single intervention. It only works when everything is basically following through and doing their job. I'll use the example of a relay team. If somebody basically doesn't pass the baton off correctly, they're not going to finish the race. So to think that you can find some magical nutrient that basically will reduce, resolve, and repair is a pipe dream. But again, so we have to have a consistent understanding of what causes it, and more importantly, the blood chemistry to tell us, are we on the right path? That's the power of the resolution response. Yes, it's like a drug, but you can see the success in the blood. If the blood says each of the markers that says each of those components of the resolution response are working well, then you're in the zone. And now getting in the zone is hard. For many people, it takes maybe about 6 months, but to leave the zone is very easy. It
Mhm.
might take only a couple of days. So it says, oh my God, to basically stop aging, I have to basically watch my diet the rest of my life. Saying, right. Or you have the all other alternative for the wrinkles, fill them in like potholes. We call it skincare. Are the wrinkles disappeared? No, but I can't see them. So again, you have the ability, we have the knowledge that there's no magic bullet, but there is a magical orchestration.
Mhm. The next question I have for you, Dr. Sears, is pertaining to vertigo. So, one of our customers is over the age of 50 and has just started experiencing vertigo, and is not sure of the reason why, but was curious if there's any benefit to supplementation with omega 3s.
I believe the answer is yes. We don't have any really strong placebo-controlled studies, but we do know that vertigo is a neurological condition caused by inflammation. So the power of the omega-3 fatty acids is they help reduce some inflammation, but they're more powerful in promoting resolution. So again, they can be very useful, but you'll get even better results by following an anti-inflammatory diet
Mhm.
and activating AMPK. Now, what can I do to do that? Chemicals known as polyphenols. Where do we find those? Fruits and vegetables. How much should you eat? How about 10 servings a day? Oh no, it's so hard. Well, I said, well, start aging at a faster rate. But we do know that people who eat 10 servings of fruits and vegetables per day,
Mhm.
they have 30% lower mortality and dramatic reductions of every chronic disease, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, related to aging.
Mhm. So the actually, and now that you've kind of said the thing about Alzheimer's, Dr. Sears, so memory can definitely decline with age, even just recall, coming up with a person's name as you're walking down the street or in the grocery store. But so with that, if you can minimize inflammation, will that also help with improved memory?
The answer is yes. I said not in a pie in the sky, but the answer is yes, because again, just like any organ, the brain is also under inflammatory attack.
Mhm.
The more you reduce that inflammation and resolve that inflammation and look to repair the damage, the brain can regenerate at a slower rate than other organs, but it can regenerate.
Wow, that's impressive. And now, Dr. Sears, like some of the studies that look at berries in the brain, is it because of the anti-inflammatory nature, or is it going back to polyphenols and AMPK, where you see the benefits of consuming berries with cognitive improvement?
I believe it's really the effect of the polyphenols found in berries on activation of AMPK.
Mhm.
Why? Because once you activate AMPK, you've got the secret to a longer and better life.
And what about supplements for aging? Is there anything besides following the diet with the omegas and the polys? Is there any additional supplements that you encourage individuals to take with age?
No.
All right, that was easy. And then what about hair loss, Dr. Sears? So especially for females, as you get closer to menopause and stuff, you can start noticing hair loss also for men, for sure. Is there anything there that would kind of slow down that process or help regenerate the hair cells or anything of that nature?
Well, again, you just answered the question to regenerate.
Mhm.
It's to basically to unblock the resolution response. Uh, we see that for men and women, as they enter into midlife, their levels of testosterone drop, their levels of estrogen drop. They say, "Oh, my sex hormones." What we don't realize is estrogen and testosterone are also anti-inflammatory hormones. They're going to drop. We're not designed to produce babies until age 94. Uh, but what we can do is say, we realize it will drop. So say, we're going to pay more attention on now following the resolution response to keep inflammation under control and therefore to slow down the rate of hair loss, slow down the rate of fat gain, slow down the rate of developing chronic disease.
So that leads me to my last question, Dr. Sear. So it kind of the irony of aging is you'll hit your goal weight, but you'll look a lot different at what you were hoping to hit as you age. Because of the change in body fat composition. Is there anything so if you follow the Pro Resolution system, can that also help to slow down the increase in body fat that you see as you age and some of these composition changes that happen over time?
The answer is yes. You're looking to basically the increase in body fat is simply that we're usually taking in more calories than we need. Because oh, I used to be an athlete. Well, you're no longer an athlete, so you don't need as many calories.
Mhm.
So calorie restriction is a key factor, but calorie restriction without malnutrition. This
Mhm.
means having adequate protein, large amounts of fruits and vegetables, small amounts of grains and starches, and a low-fat diet.
Mhm.
This is not the typical American diet.
Right. So, Dr. Sears, in line with that, how much protein do you recommend? So, most people with age, they fall short on their protein. How much protein do you recommend at each meal, approximately?
Well, actually, as we age, our needs for protein actually increase.
Hmm.
So a good rule of thumb at every meal is the amount of protein you can put on the palm of your hand. Now, I'm 6'4", so my hand is a little bigger, but it's not that much bigger than your hand. So it means that I probably need about maybe 28, 30 grams of protein per meal. That's basically, 4 ounces of a chicken breast,
Right.
not the whole chicken, 4 ounces. For a female like yourself, maybe 25 grams.
Mhm.
But that means 25 grams at every meal. So you're spreading that protein throughout the day. But now you want to balance that protein with the right amount of what are called low glycemic carbohydrates. They're low in glucose. That's another major driver of the aging process. What type of carbohydrates are those? They're called fruits and vegetables. And then you just add a little fat. Just make sure you take out the inflammatory fats, like the omega-6 fats and the saturated fats, and voila, you basically now have an appropriate, not anti-aging diet, because anti-aging is an oxymoron. We're all aging. That's a natural process. So anti-aging is not, it makes no sense. But really, it's healthy aging.
Right.
We're looking to basically uh, go as long as possible with the least amount of chronic disease that can be disabling.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Sears, I always learn so much when I speak with you. Thank you so much for answering these questions since many of our customers have them. But again, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today.
Okay, thank you.